Islam is a religion that preaches peace, and the overwhelming majority of Muslims are peaceful.
Islam is not our adversary. Muslims are peaceful and tolerant people and have nothing whatsoever to do with terrorism.
Welcome back to this On the Record special, Terror in America. Now, one former CIA covert officer says it is time for politicians to stop saying Islam is a religion of peace. Former CIA covert officer Brian Dean Wright goes on the record. Good evening, sir, and why do you say that?
Well, listen, it has been 15 years since we were first attacked after 9/11, and each of those attacks, from Chattanooga, Fort Dix, count them, not only the ones that were successful, but those that were not. In each of those cases, individuals were saying that the Islamic faith was inspiring them. Now, it is certainly true that the vast majority of folks in the Islamic faith are indeed peaceful. But to simply stop and say, Islam is just about peace and there is nothing more to explore, that is just ridiculous, and that should be self-evident after all of these years. We need to have an honest conversation about the sickness in some parts of the Islamic community.
You know, it's almost unfortunate that the way that the Muslims are is that they don't have some single leader like the Pope of the Catholic Church, so that there could be some sort of strong spokesperson who could speak out on this.
Well, but you do have some fantastic people in this country, for instance, progressive women who are in the Muslim community who are trying to stand up and say that Islam ought to be different. So there are those voices out there, and I'll give you an example. When President Obama went to the mosque in Baltimore, he had an opportunity with those women to bring them front with him or point out their good work, to say, listen, the women who are in front of me represent Islam. The fact that you're pushing these other women into the back of your mosque and not letting them worship with you, or you're forcing them, to wear a hijab, or the fact that in Islamic culture, gay people aren't accepted, you all need to wrestle with that. The fact that the president isn't using the bully pulpit to that end, I think, is a bad thing, especially because there is no singular sort of pope, as it were, within Islam.
Well, as a former CIA officer, I'm curious what you think about CIA Director Brennan's statements this week, which were certainly different from what the president said 2 days earlier.
Yeah, very troubling. I think there's probably some hand-wringing going on both in Langley and downtown. Those messages are generally speaking coordinated in advance. So I'm not sure what transpired there, but good on Brennan for being honest.
I mean, if I were President Obama, I'd be very distressed that my CIA director said something as where the president said that ISIS is on the defense, and then the CIA director says it's worse.
Yeah. At the end of the day, the analysts who are responsible for overseeing, these trends and how things are bad, or in fact they're getting worse, you have a community of folks within the CIA, within the intelligence community, who are continually sending this message downtown, that is to Washington, D.C., the politicians, that it is getting worse.
We've just invaded Vienna. We can see the Islamic army now. It's moving right towards us.
Most rapidly growing demographic is Muslim,
with Mohammed now the most popular name.
Imran is looking forward to replacing Belgian law with Sharia law.
London has got so ethnically diverse that white Britons are now a minority.
Europe is finished.